Let's talk a little Florida State recruiting. They're bouncing back. They're starting to trend for a couple guys. Steve, you have a new prediction in for edge Jesse Harold and wide receiver Tariq Mallory. Florida State going to finish with some fireworks here?
Yeah, these are guys that I think Florida State's in great position to close at the end of the cycle. Had him on campus this weekend. Jesse Harold decommitted from LSU on Thanksgiving, quickly trended towards the Seminoles. And then Tariq, longtime commit to West Virginia, he was already considered an FSU trend, and that was before Neil Brown was fired in Morgantown.
All right, so leads me to my next prospect, defensive lineman Kevin Wynn. He's from the state of Georgia, committed to FSU for a long time now, but there's been points where we thought South Carolina could flip him, Georgia, maybe Texas, and we thought he'd probably have flipped by now, but we're 2 days from signing day. Can FSU hold on here?
Yeah, USC was another, but they're out of the picture now. I think Georgia's very much in play. He was in Athens on Friday. There's some optimism around Georgia that Kevin Wynn could end up with the Bulldogs. He's one of their top remaining targets down the stretch. But there's also confidence around Tallahassee after hosting him on Saturday that they continue to hold the tide and the momentum to get him signed. South Carolina lurking as well. Tough to completely put a finger on this one as Kevin Wynn, when he gets to these campuses, he gives some optimism to the folks that spend time with him that he's going to play for them.
All right, FSU is circling back on Tavian Wallace. He's a linebacker that committed to Arkansas. A bit of a surprise this summer when he chose Arkansas over both Georgia.
Surprise.
What's that?
Huge surprise.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest surprises. And now Florida State circling back. Is he a legit flip target for FSU, or do you think Arkansas can hold on?
I think sources around Arkansas feel all right about it. I think obviously there's a lot of optimism around Florida State. He was there the last 2 weekends. They were the on-3 RPM favorite when he made his shocking decision to commit to the Razorbacks. But don't sleep on Georgia. He's been to a couple Georgia games this year. Their pedigree, particularly at the linebacker position, is exciting to him. Glenn Schumann has been recruiting him hard. So Georgia is also in the mix for Tavian Wallace.
All right, Florida State's recruit commit list has kind of been picked apart. They got a couple big pieces still left, and one of them is Solomon Thomas, the 5-star offensive lineman from Jacksonville. Can they hold on to him?
I would say right now I'm leaning towards him flipping somewhere, but with Solomon Thomas, anything can happen. The Seminoles just don't have an offensive line coach right now. You saw that with Peyton Joseph. He flipped to Georgia Tech on Sunday. Solomon Thomas, I think he's leaning towards leaving the class right now, but that's also recruitment that's going to take a lot of infrastructure and resources. We'll see if Florida State gets an offensive line coach in play because I think they've already handled the other parts. So we'll see what happens as things continue. Depending on who you talk to, LSU and or Florida, you get a different answer on who's the favorite beyond that.
All right, Florida State fans, it has been a wild recruiting cycle for you guys. At one point, FSU was up to number 3. Now they're outside the top 20. Well, talk to us. How are you guys feeling about this recruiting class? Let us know. Comment section below.